And we have one more to go. Division 1 has been crowned, Division 4 and Division 3. And we end things with Division 2. I'm Justin Kinner alongside Michelle Mimna, live here at Wright State University's Nutter Center, which has been an awesome host of the OHSAA State Volleyball Championships. And tonight we have Gilmour Academy and Roger Bacon getting set to go head-to-head to wrap up our OHSAA State Volleyball Championship weekend.
Well, and Roger Bacon, man, they delivered such a gutsy performance in that 5-set win against Bishop Hartley, coming from behind. Their serving pressure will be key in order to beat Gilmour, led by Catherine Randorf. So will Gilmour repeat, or will Roger Bacon get their fourth?
Unbelievable. And there you saw just the bracket right there for how both teams got here. But now let's focus on the matchup at hand. We love how they got here, but how will they accomplish what they want to ultimately accomplish at the end of this match is to win a state championship. What are the keys to the game, Michelle?
Yeah, for Gilmour, I really think they need to start strong. And Coach Coughlin has said their first set kind of all year, and it happened last year in the finals as well. They drop that first set, and then they have to make up ground. Passing consistency, and then let Randorf eat. Catherine Randorf, she needs to get the ball, and man, is she a dynamic player. In terms of Roger Bacon, I really mean never say die. They were down, I think, 7-2 in set 5 yesterday against a Bishop Hartley team featuring Ella Brandowie, and they found a way. So they really need to never say die. And then their serving pressure, 311 aces on the year, and then avoiding Randorf because she will block you down to the floor.
Excited to see right now the star players on both sides of the net, but let's focus on one per side of the net. We'll start with Gilmour. How about outside hitter Sabrina Grem?
Yeah, the senior there who plays opposite Randorf, 16 kills in that semifinal win. She hit .351, which is outstanding for an outside. The Eastern Michigan commit, 263 kills on the season, 44 blocks. And again, just a wonderful compliment on the outside to Randorf's middle hitter play.
All right, on the other side for Roger Bacon, how about Maria Gaines, another outside hitter? She's also a middle hitter as well.
Yeah, Mariah Gaines is a freshman, 5'10", outside and middle. She had 11 kills, 2 blocks, and 2 aces in that astounding come-from-behind win in the semifinal. 234 kills on the season, 42 blocks, which leads her team. So a freshman trying to get in on the state championship action tonight.
That's unbelievable. You think of so many players talented players who never get to even play in a state championship match, and yet here she is as a freshman potentially leading her team to a state championship. But there's a lot still to be determined. Justin Kinner, Michelle Mimna with you live here from Wright State University's Nutter Center. We've crowned 3. Let's crown one more. Let's crown a Division II OHSAA volleyball champion here this evening. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll get things rolling with set number 1 when we come back.
This presentation of the NFHS Network is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, proud supporter of high school athletics and official sponsor of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, and by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has the gifts to make this your most fun Christmas ever. From game tables, to bikes, to team sports, and the best from Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour, golf, and grills. We've got everybody covered this holiday. Merry Christmas from everyone at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
The year was 1907. The Cubs won the World Series and the Ford Model R hit the assembly line. While here in Ohio, school administrators came together to form the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One thing that hasn't changed since 1907 is the dedication of the OHSAA to education-based athletics in Ohio. School sports teach responsibility, sportsmanship, and life lessons that stay with students long after their playing days are over. The OHSAA seeks to prepare students not for the next level of sport, but for the next level of life.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
I mean, I don't totally know what opioids are, but...
It doesn't happen here.
Not in denial.
No.
Our kids are way too busy.
My son has good friends.
Don't live in denial, Ohio. Talk to your kids about drugs, and they'll be up to 50% less likely to use them.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Mercy Health, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Mercy Health, primary care for the universe of you. Visit mercy.com/primary care to connect with the provider today.
I'm Sloan Stevens, and I bounce back with chocolate milk.
Leaves us with the next item on our agenda is item number 5, opening session.
I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you're out here at the parade or listening, thank you again.
Into the end zone, and that is caught by Jaden Wood.
Come on now, how we doing? Y'all feeling all right out there?
Hello, and welcome to this edition of This is Glendale. I'm Bet Chorus.
Hey guys, this is the Unit 1 crew from One Log Fire Department. We just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And of course, you can always go to ICRC-TV.com.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved.
Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
Well, yeah, there's some old prescription pills, but my son's a good kid. He's not gonna look for them.
2/3 of teens who abuse opioids get them from friends and family. Don't live in denial, Ohio. Dispose of your leftover pills.
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player and select DVD or digital copy to get yours today. High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player and select DVD or digital copy to get yours today.
Roger Bacon, the fans are ready. They're fired up. 22-6. If they can pick up their 23rd win of the season, that means they're state champions. But they got their work cut out for them here this evening. Gilmour Academy. This is the last state championship match of the evening as we wrap up Championship Saturday. And 3 really good championship matches prior to this one. And I'm hoping this one lives up to the bill.
Yeah, I think this one has the potential to be just as exciting as the others that we've watched. We've got a couple of bona fide stars on both sides of the court. We've got some young players. I hesitate to say old players, but we've got some seniors as well.
They're called experienced players. There we go.
Players.
Yes.
So Roger Bacon will serve it up, and we'll get moving.
Hoffman on the serve. The setup in the middle right off the bat, wasting no time. That was Channel. Channel wasn't expecting that one. Came right towards her, out of play, and Roger Bacon strikes first.
And one of the freshmen, Kayla Chanel, and she had a fantastic match last night. In fact, they call her Coco. Coco Chanel. You get it, Versace, yeah. All of that.
It goes better than Channel. So.
It does. But you know what? You weren't here for that, so I don't fault you at all. Free ball back here for Gilmour.
From the back row, a strong strike. Really impressive right there. We're tied up at 1 apiece, Gilmour and Roger Bacon.
Randolph, who won Gatorade Player of the Year honors last year, first team All-State this year, is a weapon. Wherever you give her the ball, she'll be headed to Northwestern next year to play in the premier Big Ten Conference.
Seen quite a few players this weekend that'll be playing collegiately. Some even at the highest of levels like that too. Very impressive, and running it down again. Good hustle. You're seeing bodies fly everywhere. Roger Bacon gets the best of that one though, 2-1. What I love, the student section's beyond fired up, but I'm watching parents, I mean, literally jump for joy over there. That's the fun part. I mean, we've seen this all day, but I do have to keep reminding myself how special this is for each fan base that's here. They've been waiting all day to get to this match.
Yeah, and really to see, you know, their daughters or granddaughters or nieces or whatever their relationships are to these players, to see them do well is just very exciting.
Opposite end again, good play at the net. And another point for Roger Bacon.
4 hits there, that shoot set to the outside, while exciting, feel like results in errors more often than kills, but it's become a big part of the game.
There's Cammie Neeson on the serve. Good pancake right there, ball still playable. On the other end, zips it in, out of play though, and that's going to be another one for Roger Bacon. Team's done a great job, for one, playing poised, but also feeding off this crowd's energy right now.
Yeah, Anna Rarick thought there was a touch on that one. The line judges did not agree.
Jackson runs this one down, and you saw Randorf once again, but unfortunately couldn't get that one to fall. 5-1. Roger Bacon up 4 now.
Yeah, those back row pipe attacks coming out of the middle need to go cross court. Geometry tells us you just get a whole lot more court, and what a great save on that serve from Randorf.
And Rarick was right there waiting. Randorf again getting a piece of this one. This is going to be set up at the opposite end. That was number 9 in Sabrina Grem. And Grem gets Gilmour back up on the board again, 5-2.
Yeah, one thing we talked about in the open, a strong start for Gilmour, and again, it seems that Roger Bacon has the edge here in terms of starting out making fewer errors.
It's Hoffman who chased that one down, so a couple unanswered points right here for Gilmour. Cuts it back to within 2. Prevents the momentum from growing even larger on the side of the net for Roger Bacon. And the service error right there gives an easy one right back to Roger Bacon's side of the net. 6-3, lead back up to 3. You hate after you establish a little momentum, you get a couple points to fall your way, and then a service error to cap it all off.
Yeah, it kind of takes the wind out of your sails. And right now, Gilmour again is struggling in set 1. This has become kind of a pattern that Coach Coughlin obviously not thrilled with, but he almost expects it based on our conversation yesterday.
Neeson on the serve, and coming in with the strong strike right there was Grimm once again, and this time Gilmour gets the best of that situation. 7-4, they cut it back to within 3. Take a look at the replay.
Yeah, Grimm doing a nice job here on the right side out of serve receive again, and Eastern Michigan will be receiving the benefit of her attacking services. Getting a good one there, Sabrina Grimm.
Brooke Clare, 5'6" senior, drops back to serve for Gilmour. Set up, getting the running start. That was Mariah Gaines. But Gaines has her shot blocked, and that's going to make it 7-5.
And Gaines, again, one of the youngsters. She's a freshman. She had a great semifinal match. We'll see if she can help lead Roger Bacon to a state championship.
Sammy Hoffman thought she was going to go back to Gaines. She sets it up behind her, targeting Allie Hughes. Good play up at the front of the net again. I believe that was Randorf taking advantage of her size advantage at the net.
Yeah, Randorf, you know, someone, as I've watched all of these matches this weekend, she might be the most active blocker. What I mean by that is when she gets up, she doesn't just press, she swats at the ball. I mean, she just really understands what it takes to get a blocked ball down to the floor.
Hoffman to Gaines. That was impressive too, that they continue to get Gaines. I mean, they've been able to establish first couple pieces of momentum to start without really getting her involved, and now got her involved on 2 of the last 3 points. Chase down, they have to clear it, they do. Hoffman's right there to meet it.
This is gonna be cross, yep. Set pushed her out beyond. Just a really nice play. See if Roger Bacon can get it back. They say it did stay inside the antenna. That, however, is 4 hits.
It was a few moments ago, but that play really developed because of Neeson, by the way. And what was interesting about it on the dig, she hit the ground hard and popped back up in a split second. See, she hits the ground, is right back up and drops back.
We'll take a look at it here. Yeah, it's hard for us to see if it was in or outside the antenna. But again, we're not the certified officiating crew, so the pressure is not on us.
And that was Randorf once again. 9-7, Gilmour cuts it back to within 2. So now dropping back to serve, Sabrina Grimm for Gilmour. Hoffman gonna go to Gaines.
Nice
Sending that
dig,
high in the air was Claire.
Nice dig down the line. Making some good choices. Gilmour showing this crowd that it's not all about bouncing the ball off the floor. If you can place the ball, getting Roger Bacon's defense to really have to pursue. And now they're out of system.
High in the air, chasing this one down again. That was Neeson. Neeson's been all over here in the early going to set 1, 9-8, Roger Bacon. This is going to be set up, and that's going to be, of course, Randorf on the return. Excellent dig. Attempt that's out of play, so that's going to make it 10, or make it 9-9. I'm sorry, tying it up at 9.
Yeah, hitting the ball so hard that the dig comes all the way back and out of bounds. That's the MO of Catherine Randorf.
Cross-court setup again, that was Kroger. And another strong strike right there, and really there was nothing else that you could do if you're Gaines.
Yeah, in terms of being a successful block against Randorf, you really do have to meet the ball significantly on the other side. you know, her power is not going to allow you to block her from your side of the net if you're Roger Bacon.
Gaines gets a piece of that one, and a good dive by Neeson to keep it alive. This time they're going to set it right back up and go right back to Randorf. Randorf just tenses. I mean, she knows she's just about to crush it, but I watched her tense up. Take a look at this. I mean, just the way she went running up, she ran up tight on that, ready to strike that as hard as she could. 11-9 Gilmour, after struggling to start, has a 3-point lead after that ace.
And I love it. Randorf and Graham have a little celebration they do after an ace. It's got their fans excited as they have now come back from being down, what, 4 or 5 and now up 3.
Yeah, I mean, they turned it around quickly, and it really just started with, I mean, the reason they found themselves down early, and this is not taking anything away from Roger Bacon, but it was more so what they weren't doing. It was more so about self-inflicted wounds a little bit, but they've cleaned it up, and now they have a 3-point advantage.
Yeah, and you can see Coughlin right now talking to his libero, Klicka, and Catherine Randorf, while his assistants talk to the team. And I think the message is absolutely keep doing what we're doing offensively. You know, defensively, make sure we're stopped and able to read and switch directions. We don't want to let Roger Bacon back into this first set.
So coming out of the timeout, again, Roger Bacon jumped out to a quick lead. All momentum was on their side. Gilmour has silenced the crowd on the side of Roger Bacon. Can the crowd get back into it? We'll find out coming out of this timeout, and that's going to be a point for Roger Bacon. There it is, the noise once again, 12-10, Bacon back within 2.
Yeah, that was a nicely placed ball from the right side, just splitting that seam in right back.
Jackson setting that one up again, just continuing to feed Randorf. We've seen some teams this weekend that when they become too one-player dependent, it's hurt them, but it seems to work really well here in the early going. And I'm sure they have other weapons that they will go to at some point, but if it's not broke, don't fix it. And right now, Randorf carrying them as they're up 3.
Yeah, I mean, when Randorf rotates into the back row and Grem's up front, you know, we really do get to see quite a bit of Grem. But you're just seeing a blocking clinic right now from Randorf, and it'll serve her well at Northwestern because she's undersized as a middle in the Big Ten, but she'll clearly be hitting at the outside pin. And all of the blocking that she's been able to develop in high school is really going to help her as a pin player in the Big Ten.
Laney Klicka with the service error on the side of Gilmour. That gives the point right back to Roger Bacon. That makes it 14-11. The serve for Roger Bacon. There you see number 9 and Mackenzie Kroger. Gonna go right back to Randorf again. This is dominance from her in the early going, which the fans that follow her career, and as well as you know, she's been dominant her whole career, but she's taken it up a notch here today.
Yeah, she's really making it look easy, and it's not easy, but she's making it look like that. You know, Roger Bacon really needs to get a handle on trying to identify her earlier, making sure that she has a double block at all times.
Roger Bacon, despite getting a couple points up on the board since being down 14-10, a lot of those have been service errors. They've yet to really find a way to set anything up to get any kind of momentum going. Neeson getting a piece of this one. Return from the back row, getting a piece of that was Klicka. Bobbled around a bit. The attempt was by Chanel there at the front of the net, but 15-13. Now Roger Bacon seems to have regathered themselves. They've cut it back to within 2.
Yeah, that ball looked like the setter set a push set, which kind of, as the name suggests, pushes the ball away, but it was a little bit too much, and Chanel had to try to use her left hand.
15-14 now. Gilmour holding on to a 1-point lead. Roger Bacon starting to pick up some momentum a little bit, looking to tie it up here off this serve. This one's set up right in the middle. Good front net play there. Not enough, though, and that's going to be a kill for Chanel. Tie 16-14 now. Gilmour gives themselves a little bit of a 2-point cushion here.
So now we've got Chanel back up in the middle. We got Junior, Anna Rarick, on the right side, Grem's on the left, and Randorf in the back row. Talk about a rotation, like your dream lineup right now.
And it's spaced out perfectly. And it's like just when you see Randorf move out of the way, you think you got a little bit of breathing room, and then there's the next weapon right there that you're just like, man, how do we hit around this? Serve clears the net. This one going to be popped up by Neeson. Good attempt there by Jackson, just not enough. 17-15 now.
Blocking wise, already 4 points earned on blocks from Gilmour Academy to 0 for Roger Bacon.
Yeah, really the only thing that's really kept Gilmour or Bacon in this has been the service errors. There's been about 3, if I'm not mistaken, that have really kind of let Bacon hang around a bit.
Yes, 3 errors in the serving game. Again, this one, Gilmour perfectly in system, and Grem beats the block, goes right in between the 2 blockers.
Off the serve, that was Anna Rarick. Running up on that was Neeson to keep it alive, and Gaines lets it drop, so it makes it 18.
Yeah, I think she knew it was going to be her 4th contact, so.
19-15 now. So the serve for Rarick continues. Rarick, a junior. Hits into the block, out of play, and that's what Roger Bacon needed right there. You don't want to go down 5 again. That was the largest lead of the evening, I should say now for Gilmour. But Roger Bacon, a much needed play right there.
Yeah, and Grem on that one, she even knew. She turned around and knew she needed to push her left blocking hand into the center of the court, kind of self-correcting there. Looks like we've got a little bit of a delay in.
There's a flashlight in the building that is shining onto the floor. There is no flash allowed.
So we're getting a warning that someone's got a flashlight. And I'm not quite sure what to say about a fan that would bring in a flashlight.
There are times where I notice my grandparents forget, they don't even know that their light is on their phone. If I had to guess, it could be a grandparent that does not know that their phone light is on their phone.
But I feel like he said a flashlight, meaning like maybe someone brought in a
also weird
industrial
I don't know. It's like, the lighting is pretty, I mean, it's a pretty nice facility here. There's plenty of light here, but yes, he did say flashlight.
I think nefarious intent. I really think that someone's up there with a flashlight trying to blind a high school volleyball player, and that makes me sad.
My money is on a player's grandparent that does not know their phone is on. That would be my guess. 20-17. Gilmour up 20-17 right now. And they are searching for the flashlight. We're going to put some money on this for entertainment purposes only. And so it could just be a reflection off of something. Anyways, on to the game. You know, that's what we're here for. Off the hands of Mackenzie Krogler. 21-17, Gilmour starting to pull back away, and this is a good timeout being called by Coach.
Coming back from the search for the flashlight is Randorf executing just another fabulous block. She's got 4 of her team's 5. She has 8 kills. And right now, Roger Bacon finding itself in a situation where they've got to find a way, as we talked about, for one of the keys to avoid the block of Randorf. You know, you're going to have to set your offense around that, because right now she's blocking everything that she's had the opportunity to do.
One of the few moments in this first set where it looked like Roger Bacon was in control, especially is when they had Gaines set up. They were able to get a couple big strikes from her, but outside of that, a lot of their points have come off service errors, and a lot of those points have just really not come out of system by any means. 21-17 now, Gilmour up, coming out of the timeout. Gilmour didn't spend a lot of time in their huddle. Roger Bacon just coming out of theirs with just a second left.
Yeah, again, feeling like there was a little bit more strategy being talked about in that huddle. It's never going to be enough to just look at your team and say, do better. You've got to strategize how to get around the block. And that one, Gaines goes into the antenna.
When I talked about Gaines earlier, that's who they went to in this particular opportunity. Yes, hitting the pin, obviously. 5-point deficit now.
So again, in system here, I want to see Roger Bacon do something a little bit quicker to try to beat the block.
And now they're playing another one. So Gilmour right now just cruising, 23-17. Like, you look at that score doesn't look that unsurmountable, but at the same time, just the vibe of this match right now, Roger Bacon has just yet to get settled in despite being the team that jumped out to the hottest start. This time they're going to go right back to Gaines on that side, and that's going to be right off the hands of Klicka. Gaines seems to be the only player right now, at least in this set, that has been able to put any kind of pressure on the opposite end.
Yeah, and that time they did a nice job. They got the ball all the way out to the pin so Gaines could turn it line, and that turns it away from Randorf, who is the middle blocker, and they had success going down the line.
Go right back in the middle. That's the only time we've seen her not connect, by the way.
Yeah, she was going to get a hold of that one, but that was a miss hit in terms of her hand-to-ball contact.
23-19, Gilmour up 4.
We'll send a free ball here to Roger Bacon.
And go back to Gaines on the other end, and not able to get there in time was Klicka. Back-to-back points for Roger Bacon, both of those coming off of Gaines.
Yeah, Gaines playing really more experienced than her years. She's been able to diagnose that block, and then she put a really shallow tip to where Klicka could not get to it.
And the service error sets up a set point opportunity for Roger Bacon, or for Gilmour here. And dropping back to serve will be Sabrina Grimm. Gilmour 1 point away from taking a 1-set advantage here in the early going. Good return there by Randorf. Ball still in play. Randorf kind of was facing the opposite end, had to fully torque her body to try to get a better angle there, but hits it into the net, 24-21. They never really were able to get comfortable in that. 24-21, Gaines on the serve for Roger Bacon. Chasing that one down was Jackson. Jackson setting up Randorf. That hits the Raider head up on the scoreboard, and that'll do it for set number 1. Gilmour Academy, the Lancers, take a 1-0 advantage over the Roger Bacon Spartans. Justin Kinner, Michelle Mimna with you here for the Division II OHSAA State Championship match here tonight, set 2, when we come back.
This presentation of the NFHS Network is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, proud supporter of high school athletics and official sponsor of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, and by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has the gifts to make this your most fun Christmas ever. From game tables to bikes to team sports, and the best from Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour, golf, and grills. We've got everybody covered this holiday. Merry Christmas from everyone at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
The year was 1907. The Cubs won the World Series and the Ford Model R hit the assembly line. While here in Ohio, school administrators came together to form the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One thing that hasn't changed since 1907 is the dedication of the OHSAA to education-based athletics in Ohio. School sports teach responsibility, sportsmanship, and life lessons that stay with students long after their playing days are over. The OHSAA seeks to prepare students not for the next level of sport, but for the next level of life.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
I mean, I don't totally know what opioids are, but...
It doesn't happen here.
Not in denial.
No.
No.
Our kids are way too busy.
My son has good friends.
Don't live in denial, Ohio. Talk to your kids about drugs, and they'll be up to 50% less likely to use them.
Roger Bacon, 22-6 on the season, heading into the state championship matchup against Gilmour Academy. Gilmour Academy, the Lancers, 24-3. And two fantastic regular seasons, a great journey through the tourney to set up this semifinal matchup just the other day, and of course the championship match tonight. Michelle, you and Dean were on the call for the semifinals for both of these teams. What are some things you saw in that semifinal that you're seeing here or not seeing here, especially on the side of Roger Bacon? What worked for them in the semifinal that they're not able to really click into here in the early going?
Well, I mean, it was really, they have this never say die attitude. Now, granted, it went 5 sets, so, you know, we might see some things, some adjustments that'll help them get back into this. But dealing with Randolph is really kind of a whole different animal. You know, Ella Brandewy, who played for Bishop Hartley, was not a threat in the back row because she comes out. Here, Randolph, she can kill you from anywhere on the floor because she's a 6 rotation player. So Roger Bacon is having to identify Randolph in all 6 rotations.
Kayla Chanel gets things going for Gilmour. Dropping back to serve was Ella Jackson. Cross-court target for Newsom. And Roger Bacon gets on the board to tie it up early. And that's what you like to see, too. We've been getting some points from some errors on the side of Gilmour, but come out and strike like that, something we didn't see a lot of in that first set. It's a good start for Roger Bacon.
And Graham did a nice job controlling that really tight set.
There's Randolph from the back row. Good diving dig attempt there by Hoffman on the other side, and another big dive attempt by Klicka to try to keep the ball alive, but Roger Bacon jumps out to a 2-1 lead. Keep in mind, they jumped out to a 6-1 lead back in the first set before Gilmour finally got reestablished and just went on one heck of a roll that gave them that first set.
Yeah, take a look there. Just a really nice tip by Allie Hughes. Gets Klicka on the floor, and they're off to a strong start again, making the Gilmour defense really work hard.
This one's set up, going again behind her, targeting Anna Rarick. Good dig by Kroger. And that's Gaines, and Gaines dropped that one right in front of Randolph. Gaines was our player to watch that we highlighted during the pregame, and for her to be so young and doing what she's doing right now on this state championship caliber team is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that one, Chanel and Rarick need to close that block up.
Gaines gets a piece of it at the front of the net, keeps it alive. They're gonna have to clear it here. Tough angle to try and get that done.
Yeah, right now Gilmour kind of lucky on that one. Again, just a little bit of a slow start for Gilmour.
Rarick off the serve, and Rarick gets the ace. Gilmour cuts it back to within 1 now.
Getting the serving position from one of her coaches. Serving game has become a very strategic part of what these teams do.
There's Thompson up front, along with Chanel. And the double block attempt right there. Good dive attempt, but not able to get there in time, and that's going to make it 4-all.
Yeah, so far it's really been kind of more of the off-speed kills here in the second set for both teams. Trying to make each other or each opposition's defense work a little bit harder.
Not able to get there in time. That was Sammy Hoffman on the diving attempt right now. Now Gilmour takes, again, very similar to that first set where Roger Bacon came out. They were able to get a couple quick points up on the board. They got the fans into it. They had the momentum on their side. And a couple balls start to drop in favor of Gilmour, and then Gilmour never relinquished that momentum. We'll see if this is the same story, which is about to unfold here in this set, in the second set. Cross-court setup going back to Neeson. Already seeing more players get involved than what we did in that first set. That's a sign of good things to come potentially for Roger Bacon here in the Spartans.
And I like Grem. She looked at Rarick and said, shift over, get on the line. This is where Roger Bacon has scored some of its points down the line. So we're either got to move the block over or shift the defense over.
A service error by Gaines gives the lead right back to Gilmour, 6-5. So now dropping back to serve for the Lancers, Brooke Clare. Gilmour Academy has been in the state semifinals 19-20 and this season, obviously. No stranger to this scene. They won the state championship a season ago, looking to repeat this year. Tied up at 6.
Yeah, Coach Coughlin looking at Sabrina Grem saying, slow down, calm down, you're operating, everything's going too quickly.
Going right back into the middle again. What a strong strike by Randorf. No one's stepping in front of that. Are you stepping in front of that?
I'm really not. I mean, maybe if I'm wearing a football uniform,
but
complete with helmet. No. There'll be none of that for this lady.
Off the serve was Grem, 7-6 Gilmour. Good job by Grem from the back row. Good dig to keep this one alive, and coming in for the strike is Hughes. Point for Gilmour.
Yeah, Allie Hughes. Again, trying to go line against Gilmour's perimeter defense, but hits the ball out. Both teams playing traditional perimeter defense, so those deep corners are going to be areas you want to shoot for, as she just did. Hughes did for Roger Bacon.
Randorf, strong strike at the front of the net, deflected by Kroger. And that deflection at the net set up that opportunity for Roger Bacon to cut it back within one. Take a look at the replay there. Again, that went right off the hands, I believe, of Randorf.
Yeah, we don't say that too often, do we? Off the hands of.
Well, I didn't think it was possible for the ball to touch her hand and come off softly at all. So.
Right.
Graham gets a piece of that. They're going to go right back to Thompson. And that's going to be another one for Gilmour. 2-point little window here to work with. 9-7, set number 2 if you're just joining us. Gilmour Academy has a 1-0 advantage here in the early going.
One thing to note, Ella Jackson, the setter for Gilmour, is a freshman. And we interviewed her yesterday after their semifinal win, and I asked her, I said, how does it feel to last year at this time have been playing 8th grade volleyball, and now you're playing for a state championship and you're setting up a hitter that's going to Northwestern? And, you know, she kind of looked at us with a smile like, yeah, the game's a little faster. And it was different. The cutest thing. It was really neat. Because she's like, I just hang the ball up there for Randorf and say, go get it.
I never thought about that from that angle. You know, you watch college sports, you think some of these seniors in high school, they're in, their high school classes, they're small schools, and then some of these stars going to college and they're playing under the lights in front of 100,000 fans or in front of 10,000 fans or whatever the level you're
crazy,
playing.
Yeah.
And you're like, how drastic of a change that is. But you're right, from middle school to being a freshman playing on this type of team with that type of player, that is a bit of a shock, and good for her for the maturity to be able to be able to handle it. Not every player can handle that.
No, not at all. I mean, as a coach, I've got freshmen in my program who, can't walk down the hall and look at their phone at the same time. And
you would make fun of me if you knew me as a freshman. Let's just put it that way. I don't even like freshman me. Let's just put it that way. Gilmour, by the way, has pushed their lead up to 5 now. It's 12-7. And Ella Jackson, by the way, we were talking about her and the connection that she has with Catherine Randorf. She made a few over the last few moments as well in Gilmour's growth of the lead.
Yeah, 16 assists. 12 of those 16 assists to Randolph. If you wonder at all about the connection that the freshman setter has with her middle, you know, when we look at this set, you know, 5-point lead, you think about Roger Bacon, what they need to do. This is very similar to what was happening yesterday against Bishop Hartley, but there's not a player right now, whether it's Neeson or Mia Huber or Mariah Gaines, that are really making the kind of offensive impact that Randolph and Graham have been able to make, you know, Chanel as well. So you kind of sense that something needs to really change dramatically for Roger Bacon to be able to take a set from Gilmour Academy.
That was a service error by Lainey Klicka. Now Roger Bacon on the serve. It's 12-8. Gilmour chasing this one down is Neeson. Great hustle by Neeson. No one's given up on that one. We'll go right back to the opposite end. That's Rarick.
Yeah,
12-9.
I like what Jackson did there. She had Randolph, but she decides to set that go set out to Rarick, and it's a smart move defensively or offensively because Roger Bacon's keying in on Randolph, but unfortunately Rarick wasn't able to terminate.
That was Graham from the back row, and now on that return for Roger Bacon, that was Kroger. And Randolph, soft tap over, excellent hustle by Neeson to keep that one alive.
Just a great dig.
Right off the hands of Allie Hughes, 13-9, the lead back up to 4. And the commentary from the fans behind us, who anytime the ball comes anywhere near the middle or close to the net, they yell, "Crush it." And more times than not, Randolph
That's
usually,
exactly what happens, yeah. Those fans might actually think that they're a part of that.
They're assisting, yes. Their name's not in the box score. Maybe it should be.
I feel like Catherine Randolph's kind of doing it with her skill.
It's not just with her either. It's been a lot of Chanel at the front of the net as well.
Yeah, that time Chanel ran up. She was a little bit underneath the ball. You can see Jackson's at about 8 feet. And Chanel, freshman to freshman, a little bit young, understanding kind of the relationship between your body and the volleyball. That'll come with more experience. Great
Another big dig by Neeson.
By Neeson, whose sister plays on the outside, number 1.
Clearing, that was Hughes. Freshman sets up opposite end for Rarick. 14-10.
It was neat yesterday talking to Cammie Neeson when she just said she could believe, but it was an unbelievable win to come back against Hartley. But then we were talking, getting a look here at Gilmour's fans, but talking to Randolph, and we said, you know, you won a state championship in 2019, and you know, what's your motivation to get a second one? And she looked at her freshman setter and put her arm around her and said, we want to do it for them. And I just thought that was a really neat leadership kind of thing to do, and say, yes, I've got my one, I've got my college scholarship to the Big Ten, now I want these younger players to have a taste of that. And to me, that was really neat.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of those storylines develop over the weekend where you've seen some of these seniors who have been part of great runs with their teams. You have a Roger Bacon team who, this is the first time they've been to the state semifinals and state championship, and I mean, for quite some time. I mean, 2007 was the last time they were even in the state tournament. But then you have other teams like Independence, the Blue Devils, who've been here for, 4 straight opportunities, and unfortunately they've come up short, but there's been freshmen that are now seniors that have been a part of that whole journey that still didn't walk away with the state championship.
Yeah, it's regardless of how a team finishes here, so few teams. It's the same conversation when you talk about so few players actually do go on to play college in any sport. It's really quite an honor, a privilege, and to be here this weekend, whether you're here in the semifinals or here in the finals.
As we head to a timeout at 16-12, Gilmour over Roger Bacon. To to bounce off of what you just said a little bit, I was up in the concourse area on the day of the semifinals, and it was Independence who was here last year. Obviously, they've been here quite a few years in a row. But I overheard a parent commenting about how appreciative they were of the chance for their team to even have a chance to play last year during the pandemic, of course.
Yes.
And that was at Vandalia Butler High School, and that was awesome of them to be able to host during that stretch. And they said last year they were appreciative to still be able to play. It just didn't have that state championship feel, and how grateful they are to be back. It's a big deal to play here in Dayton at the Nutter Center. Like the atmosphere here when it's full and you have the big student sections, the parents, the grandparents with their flashlights on the phone. I mean, everything that's going on that's happening. I mean, it's such a great experience for these teams, and it has that feel this year. Last year, and you and I talked about this, we were grateful to even be able to call the games and have games to call, but this year that special feeling is back, and this is a great atmosphere here to have these state championships.
Yeah, and if you remember, like sometimes we complain about lack of room, but you remember last year we were in the bleachers at Vandalia Butler, and at least me, because I have long legs. So
I'm fine. My feet don't touch the floors.
I felt like I was in a VW bug trying to, so it's nice for us to be back as well.
And Gilmour strikes coming right out of the timeout. You look up, it was a 14 to 10 score in the first set. And it was 14-10 again here, and since that point it's been a 4-1 run from that point. I mean, Gilmour, they finally found that groove in the middle of that first set, and they haven't looked back ever since. Cross-court set up again, this time going right back to Neeson, and that's what the Spartans needed.
Yeah, Neeson finding a hole in that block and going right toward Randorf, making her prove that she can play defense. And while Randorf did get a hand on it, she was not able to control it.
Jackson will chase that one down. Jackson sprinting back to get back into position. Good block up front, and that was a great play by Grem. Good run up by the freshman now. So Klicka popped that one up and from the back row. Randorf, and as the fan behind us always says, crush it.
Gilmour's bench is literally on the floor.
Did they fall or did they mean to go
down
to the floor? Oh, I see it. Yes, okay.
I think they meant like they were knocked over by what just happened.
Because she crushed it, as the guys behind us keep saying. Yes.
The antics of the benches of any sport, I love watching it. Celebrations are fantastic.
Because this is supposed to be fun. I know the nerves. I was the kind that I didn't have fun because the nerves just I would remember it later and think how fun it was. But at the time, my nerves kept me from having fun. This is supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Roger Bacon back up on the board, 19-13 now.
I always had fun competing as an athlete, but I needed someone to yell at me to get fired up, and then I'd get angry. It was like Michelle the Hulk. Like I needed to kind of turn into that green monster. If I was happy, apparently I wasn't having fun if I was happy. Take a look at this replay. Grem getting a little bit of help there from the tape. Again, everything kind of clicking for Gilmour Academy as we head into the late stages of this second set. And a great dig off of Randorf from Neeson. See if they can do it again, and they do.
And back and forth, and now they're back up on the board. It's 21-13.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to mention the blocking skill of Randorf has nothing to do with her height. Okay, maybe a little bit to do with her height. But she gets up there and she turns her hips so that her blocks are going to head back into the court, and then she swipes at the ball with one or both hands, and it's just really a recognition of where the ball is. I mean, they can't get it past her. Only when she doesn't jump.
The freshman to Randorf connection.
Great dig by Neeson in the back row.
What a strong strike. Neeson again. Neeson might as well just stay on the ground because she's been living there, but she has a spring. She hits the ground and pops back up. I know she couldn't keep that play alive, but you got to love that type of energy. It is infectious. And take a look here.
She and her sister both playing defense in the back row right now, but yeah, that extension, she wants it. She's had a great weekend.
Jackson pops it up, Klicka sends it to the opposite end, and that's a strong delivery right there by Kelsey Thompson. Another outside hitter, another freshman on top of that.
Yeah, Kelsey Thompson with a great cut shot, and that's created by the motion of your thumb going down, and she really got that ball in front of Cammie Neeson that time. Grem getting her serving zone.
23-13, another big block. And you're right, it's not just for being tall, because at the same end of the day, you start to have the timing and the skill set to be able to follow through with that. Just like in basketball, making you tall doesn't make you a great post defender or post player offensively or even a good shot blocker. Having the timing is always key. 24-13, set point opportunity here for Gilmour, looking to take a 2-set-to-none advantage. The Spartans trying to extend this set. The freshman going to go to the other freshman in Thompson.
Yeah, a little bit of an uproar there. Roger Bacon felt like the officials missed a net by Gilmour. Gilmour follows that by hitting it out. So I guess all things equal, the net was moving back and forth.
Allie Hughes drops back to serve for the Spartans. Sets it up, and that's Grimm. And that's it. That was Sabrina Grimm. The strong delivery. And then the dig set up. The strong strike. You're right, look at that crowd enjoying themselves here tonight. It's our final state championship match here on Championship Saturday. Can Gilmour close it out in 3? Set 3 coming up next.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Mercy Health, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Mercy Health, primary care for the universe of you. Visit mercy.com/primary care to connect with the provider today.
I'm Sloan Stevens, and I bounce back with chocolate milk.
Leaves us with the next item on our agenda is item number 5, opening session.
I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you're out here at the parade or listening, thank you again.
Into the end zone, and that is caught by Jaden Wood.
Come on now, how we doing? Y'all feeling all right out there?
Hello and welcome to this edition of This is Glendale. I'm Bet Chorus.
Hey guys, this is the Unit 1 crew from One Log Fire Department. We just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And of course, you can always go to ICRC-TV.com.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved.
Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
There you see the head coach of Roger Bacon right now doing everything she can to kind of keep her team mentally into this as they find themselves down 2-0.
Yeah, Alyssa Flading, who did win a championship with the team as a team member, and now she's coaching them, and her 10th year at the school. Certainly a magical run this year to get them back to Wright State, and they're going to have to pull out all the stops to get back in this one today.
And Roger Bacon has 3 state championships in school history, 2005, 2004, and 2001. And very similar to what we've seen the last 2 sets. I mean, it's Roger Bacon, they're the ones that come out fire. They get on the board and get a little bit of a comfortable lead, and then they just look like a completely different team from that point on. Good block attempt up there in the front. That was number 6 in Huber, but out of play, and that's going to tie it up at 1 apiece now. Talked about the Roger Bacon state championships. We've seen 2 state championships won by Gilmour Academy, the most recent coming a season ago. Looking to repeat as champions here against Roger Bacon. Hits into the block, out of play, and that's going to be a 2-1 lead for Roger Bacon. That's a big play right there for Allie Hughes.
Yeah, repeating as a state champ, not an easy thing to do. And Roger Bacon's going to do everything they can to keep that from happening. Great libero play by Cammie Neeson. Does result in a point for her team.
Yeah, you had Klicka and Inararic kind of run into one another. Threw the timing off. Ella Jackson then had to be the one to chase it down. 3-1 Roger Bacon with a 2-point advantage. Jackson chases this one down. Going to set it up for...
Yeah, not only is that ball in, there was a touch. But Grem quietly having a nice night as well. The senior who's headed to the MAC, Eastern Michigan, with 8 kills. Hitting .294.
A very good play right there. Kelsey Neeson. We haven't seen many opportunities for these players to show off, to be able to show off those talents on display, but when they have been able to, they've looked really impressive doing it. That was a big one. Roger Bacon up 2 now.
Yeah, and I like that because, again, the set from Roger Bacon's setter, Sammy Hoffman, allowed Neeson to go down the line. So once again, keeping the ball away from Chanel right now, who's the middle blocker for Gilmour. Randorf when she's up there in the middle.
And that was a big play right there. Again, you mentioned Chanel. That was her right there in the middle on the kill. You look at Gilmour, they took care of business pretty easily in sets 1 and 2. Almost got the sense at the beginning that they possibly took their foot off the gas a little. If that is the case, that's the window that has been open for Roger Bacon to capitalize on. Maybe that's what we're seeing a glimpse of right here, but we'll see if they're able to build off of that Chanel kill at the front of the net. There's Gaines, and there's more of that blocking ability on display right there with, of course, Grem and Randorf. 5-4 Roger Bacon's lead now at 1. Brooke Clare. Serve just clips the tape of the top of the net. Bobbled around, and Randorf, her size, able still to be able to clear it. And Randorf gets it. That wasn't even one of her harder full extended swings here tonight, and she still was able to punch that one through. We're tied at 5. Here's the replay.
And again, it is a great swing, but the block was up there with enough of an obstacle that it didn't bounce straight off the 10-foot line.
Gaines has another opportunity. Gaines took a little off of it, seeing the blocker in front of her. And Roger Bacon comes out with another one to take the lead right back 6-5. A much different looking Roger Bacon team here in the early going than what we've seen previously.
Yeah, and a big deal to get a block on Randorf because that's a mental lift. She's kind of dominated the first 2 sets, so to be able to slow her down and or stop her, that's a big deal. I need to do more of that.
Jackson was able to chase that one down to keep it alive, and now this time they're going to go right back to Gaines. Gaines hits it right over Glandorf, and that's going to be a point for Roger Bacon, who pushes the lead back up to 2 now.
Yeah, net violation there by Randorf.
Grem gets underneath this one. Jackson chases it down.
Yeah, one of the few ball handling errors from Ella Jackson. Again, just a freshman getting the opportunity to play with a few seniors that are really, really special players.
There's Jackson with the nice setup to Randorf.
Saved your life.
You did try, yes. Roger Bacon up 8-6. And here she sets it up, and again, just good deflection there at the front. So 8-6 now. Here comes Gaines. Gaines hit it right into the block.
And Neeson sends it over.
Every time.
Can't argue with the advice.
Gilmour cuts it back to within one right now. And again, Gilmour still playing really, really good volleyball right now. I do believe Roger Bacon with this a little bit more sense of urgency,
yes,
knowing that this could be their final set of the 2021 season. So they've kind of ramped it up a bit. I think Gilmour is still playing similar to what we saw in sets 1 and 2. It's just Roger Bacon has stepped it up a bit. A little bit more evenly matched here in this third set. There's Gaines, hits it right into the fingertips of Randorf. And that's going to drop, and that's a much-needed one for Gilmour, who ties it up now.
Kelsey Thompson, as you mentioned, with that kill, another freshman. And I'm not sure that there's a Randorf-type player coming back next year, but Chanel, Jackson, Thompson, there's a lot.
Core, yeah.
The core of kind of a group that could very, very easily compete at a high level next year.
And another one for Randorf. Are you sure there's not another Randorf player coming back next year? But the core of this, too, the experience alone. I mean, Randorf may be gone off the floor next year, but the way this team has learned to play with her, the lessons learned, I mean, that's still not going to go unnoticed moving forward. Gilmour now has the lead. They've kind of slowed down the momentum of Roger Bacon. That forces the timeout out on the floor. And the one thing Gilmour's run has done is really that loud student section behind the bench. They've taken them out of it, which isn't a small thing. That's a big deal because that's how these teams feed off of it. There you see the big kill right there.
Yeah, again, you look in the celebration after that kill was kind of a in-your-face sort of thing. And, you know, again, I'm all for great celebrations, you know, when they remain respectful. Girls have a lot of fun, so it's kind of neat to see you know, again, you're going off to play in the Big Ten. You need to have some confidence. I feel like she's not lacking in that area.
There's no reason for her not to.
Nor should she, yes.
I was laughing earlier on the call for the Division III state championship game with Liberty Benton and Willow.
Karis Willow.
Karis Willow. Now, she would not smile. I kept pointing out that they were at 23. And she set up the set point opportunity. Everyone around, you almost see tears almost starting to form as they realize they're about to do it. And she was just this, I mean, still-faced, angry face, like, no, we haven't done anything yet. And I love that. I mean, every player is different in these situations, and that's how her team feeds off of her energy. And you look at Randorf and her energy, it's cool, calm, and collected, a casual smile. It's just, you know, the game comes so easy to her, and I think it makes the game come easy to those around her.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, too, you know, talking about Liberty Benton and Karis Willow and Granger, et cetera, they had a goal. I mean, undefeated season. Again, not something that happens with any great regularity. And, you know, it's that focus that allowed them to have an undefeated season.
Yep. Heading into this weekend, 37 teams had won a state championship undefeated. That totals at 38 now, with Liberty Benton added to that list, and Roger Bacon ties it up at 9.
I would assume a lot of those undefeated state champions were a decade or so ago. It's so hard to do, to be undefeated right now. So am I completely wrong?
I think you're a little off, but
no,
I got to find my notes because, you know, I don't just retain this information.
I don't want to be wrong about that, but it just seems with the competitiveness of volleyball in the state of Ohio, but maybe I'm just throwing out information. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
It's not like I know what I'm talking about. It's just in the program right in front of me, so don't give me too much credit for that. It would help if I actually had it highlighted.
Great hustle. Yep. Randorf again with her 20th kill of the night.
So Jackson Center out of Division IV back in 16 did it, and then just last year, Tiffin Calvert did it out of Division IV as well.
All right, but the majority of them have come.
Yes.
So what you're saying is I'm right.
We could say that, yes. we could, but the last one, yes, was technically last year in 2016.
Okay, fine.
Liberty Benton was the first D3 team to do that since Anna back in 2006. Will she crush it? She does. She crushed it. And I'm really hoping people could hear the guy in the back. Luckily, that's all he's got. We've got confirmation.
Take a look here again. This is Randorf off 1 foot on the slide. And, you know, I don't think the fans at home can appreciate what we're hearing from the Gilmour parents. Every time Randorf goes up to hit the ball, someone, and it's the same person, it's the same voice, someone yells, "Crush it!" really loud. I don't know
if I had to guess, it's the fuzzy hat guy. Maybe
and,
not.
You know, he's right on target. He's got great advice. And Randorf has been more than happy to oblige with 21 kills on 39 swings, hitting .436 to help her team to what looks like will be a back-to-back state championship. But certainly, in the middle of the third set, we still have some volleyball to play.
Gilmour holding on to a 2-point advantage with a 2-set advantage currently. 12-10 the lead. That was Kroger off the serve, and now the freshman setting up Grem from the back row. Right in the middle, strong strike. That was number 6 in Huber.
And
Rarick on the return.
Yeah, Neeson with a nice dig. Again, Rarick showing you that not only does she have the timing, she looked annoyed on that one. She looked annoyed that the ball came back and that she had to jump up again and crush it.
Well, for one, she thought that her and all her teammates thought that they thought it was done.
Yeah.
So they all started to gather, and then they all had to kind of bounce back out. And of course, they able to come out on the other side of it. And she hit that one even harder the second time. If you're not going to get this one, you don't want to anger her. 13-11 now. Roger Bacon cuts it back to within 2. You know, they're playing really. Gilmour's playing really well. Roger Bacon doesn't feel like it's as close as it is, and you look up and they're within striking distance. If they can keep it within this window, they might be able to steal this set and extend this match.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Again, Randorf in the back row doesn't mean there's a big letdown, but they do know that they can then work around the block a little bit better because Randorf's been literally unstoppable. She has 7 blocks tonight.
There's the crush. I called it. It was the guy in the hat, the fuzzy hat guy.
He yelled it for Chanel, so he's an equal opportunity crush it.
Everyone can crush it.
And you know, I think that it's very noble of him to yell it every time and not just save it for Randorf.
For those watching that are fans of Gilmour and you know who Fuzzy Hat Guy is, I apologize for not having his name, but you will be able to tell him that he was referred to as Fuzzy Hat Guy on more than one occasion throughout the broadcast.
And he had, great advice for his team.
15-11, now 16-11. Gilmour, this is their largest lead of the set.
Roger Bacon not happy about that call. Line judge did call the attack out. Again, our crew of officials and line judges has had a wonderful weekend. We certainly value what they bring.
Not an easy job.
No.
And they choose to do this knowing what comes with it.
Oh, yeah.
And they stick to it. And I just want to make sure we give those official shout outs because the job's not easy.
No, and I've had a few of my official friends even ask me, like, would you consider being an official? And I look at them with no hesitation. There is not enough money in the world to make me, have to deal with the abuse that officials of every sport have to deal with. It's just not worth it. So yes, they deserve love, not hate. And peace sign, people, let's go.
And I always say, when people complain about officiating, I laugh at them and go, have you ever gone home and said, Man, that was a greatly officiated game. I want to get that official's jersey. I mean, no one ever said, so yes, mistakes are made every game, but players make mistakes, coaches make mistakes, so it's the same thing, but nonetheless.
It is a very, very rare occasion, incredibly rare, that an official's call changes the outcome of a sporting event.
As if a turnover or a service
error
or something. Yeah,
exactly. It's so rare. It just doesn't happen as often as people think. You know, but people are so wound up in the current or whatever's happening, whether it's football, basketball, volleyball, lacrosse, field hockey, curling. I'm sure there are officials in curling.
Yep, once every 4 years we hear about it.
And I just, you know, I think that officiating crews just deserve so much more love than hate. And cue the John Lennon song.
There you go. And by the way, Roger Bacon, a little 2-0 run right now to try and put an end to this Gilmour run.
You're trying to get my focus back on the game, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. I have no focus, but I looked up and they put a couple on the board. So now that's a big one right there. The little 3-0 run right now, 17-15. It was a 5-point window that it looked as if Gilmour was just ready to kind of route this and just put a stamp on it quickly. But I love the fight from Roger Bacon because, again, this could potentially be their last set of the season. And if they can hang around long enough and steal this set, anything can happen at that point. Graham keeps it alive, and that's going to be Randorf from the middle.
She didn't get the advice to crush it that time, so I'm thinking maybe she took a little off. Great swing there by Thompson.
Setting it up again, and Randorf.
Fuzzy hat guy's not doing his job.
No.
The last 2 times there has been no advice, and she is not.
I wonder if he has friends at home texting him to be quiet. I think that he needs to speak back up.
Yeah. I don't need him to be quiet.
Actually, that's one of the few things we've heard yelled behind us today that we can comment on. Yes. 17-16. You got to make sure Roger Bacon right now. Look at the intensity of Coach's face right now. I mean, and you would think, what is she so upset about? They're roaring back into it. They're feeding off of that right now. This is quality coaching right here again. Because if she brings them over and says, good job, keep it up, then they lose that intensity. She's trying to keep them on that same level. I like that approach here. Gilmour has a 1-point advantage, a little 4-0 run. It was 17-12.
Yeah.
And this is quite the run.
This is what Roger Bacon had to do yesterday against Bishop Hartley. And, you know, they're finding themselves right in it, right in the spot to be able to take that 3rd set to really stop the bleeding and get a chance back in this match.
Neeson on the serve for the Spartans.
And that's going to be 4 because it bounced off the back of Thompson. And
we're tied at 17 right now.
Herrera giving the freshman some advice like, hey, get out of my way. I'm here to pass the ball.
Randorf gains, and Roger Bacon has a late lead here in set number 3. The Spartans trying to avoid going down in 3.
Anybody wondering why Ella Jackson did not go up and try to contest? She is a setter who is playing out of the back row right now. She would not be allowed to be a blocker. Graham with a nice attack.
Gaines is playing very good volleyball right now. And I love it too because she's a freshman, also a year ago in 8th grade. And here she is carrying her team right now in this 3rd set, trying to extend this match.
And Roger Bacon making a nice run.
We're hearing the crush it again. We might see a change.
Again, defense being played very well. Both teams, a little bit of a misfire defensively by Klicka and Randorf.
And I think Gilmour got so complacent, and that has negative connotation to it, but they got so comfortable, I think, with dominating the way they did the first 2.5 sets, that they did take their foot off the gas. And they're not paying for it because they haven't lost anything yet, but they're approaching the danger zone of this match right now. And now you got to be concerned. It was 17-2 or 17-12 and a 9-0 run. That doesn't happen very often. And Roger Bacon right now is taking advantage of the lull.
And Maria Flynn will replace Thompson, right now. Be able to get a little bit of a change at the pin. Right now we'll find Randorf.
And that's the play right there that Gilmour needed. Hopefully for Roger Bacon, that doesn't kill their confidence at all. They got to realize that, hey, we just went on a 9-0 run and don't just have a slight lead. We had a good cushion of a lead, and you're 4 points away from extending this match. We'll see how Gilmour responds coming out.
Let's
21-18.
see if Gilmour can defend here. Klicka there to pick up the tip.
Ball still alive. Every time Neeson is the one that's getting a piece of it. Every time she's on the floor making plays.
Yeah, she's had a great weekend of volleyball and should be very, very proud. Randorf now with 24 kills on 45 swings, just 5 errors. Probably the 5 times he didn't yell, crush it.
He did it there, and she did.
The magic is real, people. The magic is real. Again, impressive, 25 kills. And I wonder if he's a parent. I mean, could that be Randorf's dad? I mean, it could be.
Possibly.
Chanel's dad.
Or super fan. I mean,
fan.
Which is all the above is welcome. This plays that, and again, you want to take advantage of Randorf being in the front there, especially trailing right now and so close to potentially winning a state championship right now. You've got to capitalize on this, because a set ago we would not have thought that Roger Bacon would have a shot this late in this with how they were playing. So you can't say that, oh, we'll just get it the next set. You don't know from set to set how things are going to unfold. And there it is, 22-21. It was a softer one, but I think people heard it.
Well, and he said kill it, not crush it.
Crush it, yeah. And it's a kill, so she did what
it was very apropos. Very apropos.
All right,
Roger Bacon here needs to get to 23 here. In system. Again, set.
Missed it.
Yeah, a little bit outside of her reach was that set. Mariah gains, so now it is tied up.
Can't wait to follow her trajectory of her career over the next, her sophomore, junior, senior year. She's 5'10", outside and middle, as we talked about and highlighted in the pregame. Good hustle up front.
And Neeson with a great ball and serve receive. Yeah, Randorf there talking to the sophomore Maria Flynn, saying, get out of my way, and every right to do that. When that ball's coming over and I'm gonna jump up and swing, get out of my way.
And this time, get out of her way. And somehow, I mean, that fell in. Roger Bacon has a set point opportunity coming up.
Take a look at that replay again. Big swing, but Bacon getting the block and celebrating. They can feel it. They know that they're back in this thing.
For the time being, because they've angered her. You don't want, I mean, when she was smiling, she was playing.
When she's angry.
She was dangerous when she was smiling and loose, and now.
But right now, Gilmour has to be careful and execute not only on the serve, but defensively, in order to get a chance to tie this up. And then Bacon just needs to be in system and keep the ball away from Randorf. And let's see if they can do that.
And the thing is, too, I mean, you had Randorf, who, not bickering, but getting heated with those around her. Again, there was a little bit, I mean, the disorganization a bit. They did capitalize on it. That's why they have a chance to still win this set, as we're tied at 24. But this is a big timeout. If there was ever a time to win coming out of the timeout, this is the opportunity for Roger Bacon right now. Again, they lose this coming out. You got to win by 2, of course, but you drop this coming out, it's a much different conversation.
I'm wondering, Catherine Randorf in a 3-set match has 27 kills, so we kind of want to look and see maybe what the individual kills in a 3-set match if this ends up ending.
So there's the kills.
If it ends after 3 sets, she will have a new a new record for the number of kills.
And again, we'll highlight that coming up in a moment. Again, coming out of the timeout, we're tied at 24 all. Dropping back to serve is Lainey Klicka. Klicka on the serve, and Roger Bacon.
System for Roger Bacon. Playing good defense, recovers off the block. Gilmour's going to be in system. Taps over a really nice off speed.
This time they're going to go right back to Randorf. Randorf.
Yeah, she's demanding the ball right now. She's essentially just telling Jackson, get me the ball, I'm here.
And she's calling for it again, right there, great block up front. Holy moly, Roger Bacon has a set point opportunity coming up. She called for it, she got what she wanted, and Roger Bacon ultimately got what they wanted. That was a huge block. Great play.
Oh yeah, yep.
25-24, set point opportunity. Roger Bacon trails 2 sets to none, trying to make it 2 sets to 1. 25-24, and we're tied at 25 now.
And that comes from Roger Bacon feeling the need to hit over Randorf, and then it flies out of bounds on the opposite sideline. So an interesting here is Randorf just rotated into the back row. So Chanel is up front, Rarick is up front, but a distinct advantage for Roger Bacon now because Jackson is also up front.
Strong strike right there. Haven't seen a lot of that tonight, but we know it's there, and Neeson, there was never a time, if there was ever a time to break that kind of power out, that was the time to do it. 26-25, set point opportunity. Dropping back to service, Sammy Hoffman.
Get in system here for...
They have to chase this down
what
to keep it alive.
What an amazing defensive play to keep that blocked ball alive.
And it drops, and we're tied again for a match that, with all due respect, did not have a lot of makeup of being a good one at the 2-0 mark. This set alone has totally changed the perception of this match right now. Roger Bacon, holy moly, they've made a match of this.
Klicka's pursuit on that ball absolutely kept this alive, but then the serving error. Randorf getting her team together, calm down. First of all, it's Roger Bacon that absolutely has to win this set. You know, the pressure doesn't have to be really intense on Gilmour.
Bobbled around, Gaines gets a piece of it.
Gonna send a free ball.
Look for Randorf. Nope. Good block by Gaines again. Gaines being very active up at the front of the net. Randorf has a chance here. Played off the net, and that'll do it for set number 3. Roger Bacon 28, Gilmour Academy 26. In what appeared to have been a 3-set sweep, it was 17-12, and a 9-0 run, the difference maker, put Roger Bacon in position to take this 3rd set, and now it's a completely different vibe. We'll be back in a moment. It's the Division II OHSAA State Volleyball Championship. Justin Kidder, Michelle Mimna will be back in just a moment.
Well, yeah, there's some old prescription pills, but my son's a good kid. He's not going to look for them.
2/3 of teens who abuse opioids get them from friends and family. Don't live in denial, Ohio. Dispose of your leftover pills.
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player and select DVD or digital copy to get yours today. High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player and select DVD or digital copy to get yours today.
Hi, I'm Doug Uke, Executive Director of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. The OHSAA seeks to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion in all of our athletic programs and is dedicated to working towards making sure they are free from any form of discrimination, harassment, and bullying. We strive to make all of our student athletes feel welcome and safe. Please join me in helping create an environment that emphasizes respect, teamwork, and understanding in order to build a culture that celebrates both the accomplishments and uniqueness of all of our participants.
All right, we welcome everybody back here live at the Wright State University Nutter Center. It did appear as if Gilmour Academy, that the Lancers were about to make quick work of Roger Bacon, but I cannot say enough about how impressed I was with the fight of Roger. I mean, you talked about that. You said that in the pregame, that this is a team that they're scrappy, they're not going to go down easily, and it looked as if they were about to get swept easily, and man, they made Gilmour work, and they were able to eke out that third set victory, and now it's a completely different ballgame as we head into set number 4.
Yeah, I'm trying to read Coach Coughlin's lips. He's talking to Randorf. I can only imagine he's saying, hey, keep doing what you're doing. You know, you got a couple balls blocked. Don't change anything. Put the pressure on Roger Bacon, you know, to win 2 more sets. And I'm not sure if that's...
Not that there's a way to stop her, because if there was, they would have figured it out by now. But the fact that she was calling for it every time, could that have been... I mean, that made it easy on Roger Bacon as far as, you know...
She's certainly the one you want to get the ball to, but... Yes, you can, you know, Jackson can send it to a pin and then come right back to her. In the moment, it's hard to deny your senior all-state player. It's hard to deny her the ball when she's calling for it. But, you know, perhaps that was something that they talked about in the huddle is, listen, there's such a thing as getting predictable, and certainly Gilmour doesn't want to be that.
And then it took the whole team out of what they were doing in sets 1 and 2 to be so dominant. And again, there's nothing wrong with going to your star player, but I do believe because of that, it made them predictable in how to defend it. And then it also took all of your star players out of their momentum as well. I mean, Chanel, we didn't call that name for the longest time down the stretch. We didn't say Grem's name at all unless she was serving. So yes, obviously we know the offense, everything goes through Randorf, but at the same time, her dominance came in the flow of the game. And when that flow went away, it didn't look as easy as what it was in sets 1 and 2. We'll see if they return to that. But now you've given Roger Bacon confidence. And that's something you took that away from them early, and I didn't think they were going to get it back. And now that they have it back, it's a different ball game, and now they just took the lead again, 3-2 off the service error.
Yeah, definitely a different feel, I think, right now. You know, Gilmour understanding that we don't want to go 5 with this team because they just pulled off a really gutsy and impressive upset of Bishop Hartley. I'm going to get a point there on the ball handling error by Roger Bacon's setter.
Tied up at 3. It's a 2-set-to-1 advantage for the Lancers of Gilmour Academy over Roger Bacon and the Spartans. And now Gilmour looking to take the lead right back. Dropping back to serve, Brooke Clare, a senior, 5'6".
In system, Roger Bacon off of Neeson. Back to the other Neeson. Blocked, but blocked out of bounds.
4-3. Spartans back up on top by 1. And now that's Kelsey Neeson dropping back to serve, and they're going to go right back to Randorf.
Right now, Gilmour needs to cover better. That's all on them, that ball. That blocked ball was an incredibly coverable ball. Take a look at the replay. Randorf's up there. Her teammates really kind of just watching. See, she's got about 8 feet behind her, and they need to be right up there, especially considering Roger Bacon blocked her about 4 times in the second and the third set.
You can see what that also did down the stretch of that third when they were feeding her so much and she wasn't having as much success. What that did is now it showed Roger Bacon, hey, we're not as afraid when that ball's going to you now, and now they step more into the block confidently, and that's already showing to be a big factor here in the early going.
Great short drop serve. Roger Bacon trying to tip them out of system. Jackson just throws it over.
Good hustle, good attempt by Claire, but couldn't get there in time.
Roger Bacon wisely keeping that tip away from Randorf, who still really tried to reach out and grab it. Roger Bacon making some good adjustments in what they're doing offensively. Great serve, Roger Bacon.
Roger Bacon looking to add to their lead. And it was a nice block.
Yep, but blocked out of bounds.
Too strong, yeah, 7-4. Man, from the point back in that third set when it was 17-12, whatever happened in that timeout, whatever coach said, it worked, because they've been a completely different team ever since then.
Yeah, and I think, you know, a lot of it had to do with finally getting a hold of a couple of Randorf's attacks in terms of blocking her. And then you're right, you know, Jackson started just setting Randorf over and over and over again, and it became a little bit of their Achilles heel in that third set.
Another
outside the antenna, yep.
So this is where I meant earlier by, yes, when you said that Roger Bacon in set 3, they had to win. You're right, they had to win, but this was the risk that Gilmour Academy took when you lose that set when you were up 17-12, because now this isn't that Roger Bacon team that you thought you could just push around again come that fourth set. Yep. 8-4 now, the Spartans, the deflection.
Great touch on the block there, slow things down.
Another big dig right there by Allie Hughes. Another dig at this end for Gilmour. Good clear by Flynn. And that strike right there, that's what we hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah, and they wanted a net call. Roger Bacon wanted a net call and an over call. It certainly wasn't over because Randorf completely stayed on her side, her plane of the net. And I do think the ball is what hit the tape.
On the replay, when I took a look, when you were explaining that, her hand did not cross that net.
Yeah, so there's
but
really...
the ball, I believe, did hit the net.
The over call is not legitimate. She wasn't up interfering with Roger Bacon's ability to play the ball. And then, honestly, it was so close to the tape. I mean, I understand that there wasn't a net call.
Klicka on the serve and too strong on the serve. Roger Bacon, they have set 5 on their mind right now. 9-5. Roger Bacon up 4, gains on the strong serve, and Jackson gonna set up Randorf.
I feel like Randorf is just really angry.
Hi, I'm Doug Ute, Executive Director.
I just feel like she's really angry right now. And I feel like she's probably taking some of this on her shoulders, which is what senior leaders do. But, you know, her team also has to step up and get some more blocks like they were doing in the first 2 sets. Now, Roger Bacon continuing to play great defense, unlike myself, letting my papers drop.
It's not even a draft in here. 9-6 Roger Bacon. Hit out of play from the back row, and that's going to make it 9-7. So Roger Bacon, it's one thing to get that momentum, to build that lead, but how do you respond when Gilmour comes roaring back? Now, we kind of got that answer a little bit in that last set. I mean, a lot of adversity. There was multiple times where Gilmour could have closed it out, and Roger Bacon got the better of Gilmour. But I'm interested to see when things tighten up here, how they're going to respond. 9-7, Roger Bacon. Good attempt there by Habib.
Yep, that ball was touched on the block. Again, Rarick.
Good front net play once again, 9-7.
You had your opportunity to be a superstar.
You should have seen that embarrassing throw. It almost hit her feet. She was 2 feet behind me. I didn't take my other hand off of it when I went to go throw.
If you would have raised up like this, he might have yelled. He might have yelled, "Crush it." Oh, but we digress.
Roger Bacon up 10-8 right now.
And that one was a ball hit out of bounds. We'll see what Ella Jackson has in store.
Kelsey Neeson. Neeson has her sleeves rolled up now, by the way. He's ready to roll. Roger Bacon back up by 3. I tell you, I've had a lot of matches this weekend, and I've called a lot of sweeps, by the way. The first 2 days, it was nothing but sweeps that I called. And at no point the teams are up 2-0 did I feel like the team that was down 2-0 could come back. And I will not lie to the Roger Bacon fans. I felt that way today. I cannot tell you how impressed I am with the fight of Roger Bacon. For these players to not give up, and we hear that all the time, don't give up, don't give up. I roll my eyes at that. I'm like, oh, stop. That's that cliche stuff. But when you see it unfold in front of you, it really is impressive. And I can't say enough about how impressed I am with these girls here tonight, regardless of the outcome at this point.
And right now, kind of misfiring. And Coach Coughlin is going to call a timeout. He's angry he's pulling his team in. They're yelling at the line judge, and he's not having it. And I agree with him. Then you take a look at that. Whether you think there was a touch or not, no player is going to turn around and yell at a line judge and get a call reversed. It's not going to happen. And Coughlin is, I'm sure, again, whether we think, we don't have challenges in the high school game.
Yep.
So, turn around, get in the huddle with your team, last play, next play. And I hope that's what Coach Coughlin is saying to his team right now. Nothing can be gained by being disrespectful to the line judges.
No, absolutely. And I do want to say this too, because when you talk about Roger Bacon's ability to come back in this and not just be back in this, but to have the lead that they do, yes, Gilmour is not playing very good volleyball right now, not the volleyball that we were accustomed to seeing them in the first 2 sets, but them not playing well is a result of Roger Bacon taking them out. Like, they've taken them out of their comfort zone. And so, yes, you could say, oh, well, they're not winning. It's Gilmour's playing poorly. Gilmour's playing poorly right now at this point because of the attack of Roger Bacon. And good for them for being able to sustain this run right now. 13-8 coming out of the timeout. I'm curious what that timeout for the Lancers did right here to see how locked in they are. We'll know very quickly. Jackson sets this up. Strong strike right there. Ball still alive, and that's what they needed coming out, and that was Anna Rarick. I wanted to hear another name come out. I wanted to have another name come out to make up a big play. There's nothing wrong, of course, with Randorf making those plays, but I think they were at their best when it was being spread around a bit with her being the centerpiece, of course.
Yeah, and again, they kind of got away from using Grem. It's 29 kills, and then it falls off to 8-8-3-2. And now I believe that was
Kelsey Neeson.
Yeah, Kelsey Neeson. She and her sister just really bringing this team back into this. Again, going down the line. So I wonder if we want to see maybe a switch in the blocking scheme for Gilmour. And that one's blocked out of bounds. But the kills for Roger Bacon have come down this line. Again, hitters trying to keep the ball away from the block of Randorf.
And now look who's up front, by the way.
Yeah, but I almost want to see, kind of depending on how the next few points go, I want to see Gilmour bring their block out here and make Roger Bacon hit into Randorf or try to hit around her into the middle of the court.
Well, back at the opposite end again, that was Grem. Strong strike right off the hands of Klicka. 15-10, Roger Bacon up 5. Roger Bacon is able to take set 3 after trailing 2-0. And if they can come out on top in this set, that would force that 5th and deciding set with the state championship on the line. And Randorf, strong delivery there. Excellent dig again by Neeson. Gonna go back to Randorf. Those digs almost look like they hurt, and I'm pretty sure that they do. You earn it if you keep that ball in play off of her.
There's no doubt. Now Randorf hit that one, and she waved goodbye at that. I don't know how I feel about that.
But
She was waving, I don't know if she was waving, goodbye to Roger Bacon players. It's not disrespectful, but I want kids to make a great play and turn around and go celebrate with their team. I don't want them to have any lasting communication with the team on the other side of the net.
15-11. Another strong dig right there by Hoffman.
Roger Bacon keeping it alive, but giving a free ball opportunity. That one's 4.
16-11.
Yep. So again, maybe running Randorf as a decoy. But again, you've got Ella Jackson now in the front row. And Maria Flynn. So I, again, certainly understand the sets going to Randorf, but what we don't want to see is what we saw at the end of the third when every single set
He's force feeding, yep.
was being given to Randorf. Let's see what they can do here with their service game. Klicka back to serve. I think she missed her last one.
I believe it's been a fairly clean serving game for Roger Bacon today. We haven't seen many of those service errors on their side of the net tonight.
No, they don't miss serves, and they have so many aces on the season. They had 311 coming into this game.
Wow.
If you know anything about aces, I mean, it's just an incredible skill to have to be able to serve that well.
Man, every one of those shots that was falling in sets 1 and 2, they're just, and there's that corner you talked about, but out of play.
Yeah, and right now, again, Randorf, I wouldn't be surprised if the officials give her a warning. She turned around and yelled at the up official, and again, we can't have that. It's not something that should be happening.
17-13, Roger Bacon holding on to a 4-point advantage. It's been Roger Bacon for the majority of this. Good play there by Klicka. Out of play by Randorf. And like Randorf is such a dang good player. I think right now she's out of it. I think she has to regather herself mentally. It's not a physical thing with her. I think she's in her head. And in her defense, though, there's so much pressure on her shoulders and everything. But right now, she can't let that get the best of her.
She needs to keep her composure. And honestly, I feel like we should be talking more about Roger Bacon and the great play and not some of the antics by Gilmour. But Roger Bacon is doing exactly what it did in the semifinals against Bishop Hartley. And they're just, they hung in there. And now that they've gained some confidence, and they've proven to themselves that they can not only dig Randorf, but they can block Randorf, they can block Grem, they can block Chanel. Now they're finding down the line kills offensively, and at this point they're looking at forcing a 5th set.
And at that point, that would be 2 sets, two straight sets that belong to Roger Bacon, and they're going to be the ones that take that momentum in. But we're at that point of the set now where the pressure really where it could start to fold on Roger Bacon, because if Gilmour goes on the lead, they're going to take that, or goes on a run, they're going to take that run and momentum into that 20-point marker, and that's the last place you want to give up momentum to. But we'll see how they look coming out of this timeout. And that's what Gilmour Academy needed coming out of the timeout. Roger Bacon needs to respond here and not let that 1 point given up turn into a run.
Right. And able to get that one back. So it's a 4-point gap right now. Jackson back to serve.
18-14. Jackson on the serve, as you mentioned. Allie Hughes handled it coming off. Jackson sets it up. A lot more active at the front of the net for Roger Bacon over this last set and a half. Another good dig by Neeson. And the other Neeson with the strong delivery there, Klicka. Too strong by Randorf. 19-14, the lead back up to 5.
And a big sigh there by Roger Bacon's number 7, Sammy Hoffman, their setter. She goes back to serve.
There's the ace.
Delivers an ace. Same kind of serve that they started firing in the semifinals. Comes over the net and just plummets like she's got a remote control on that serve.
Klicka having to run this one down. It just clears. Great play by Klicka. Randorf gets a piece of this one. Jackson runs it down and pops it up in the air, and that's going to be Graham on the return, 20-14. This one set up, getting the running start was Hughes. Jackson again. Randorf has to clear it, sends it high in the air, sending it high to give them an opportunity to reset, and there's going to be Neeson.
Yep.
Neeson and Roger Bacon saying that she touched it, but hey, officials ruling says it's 20-15 now. So dropping back to serve is Anna Rarick for Gilmour Academy. You feel, I was just going to say, I feel like there's a run left in Gilmour. That service there doesn't necessarily change that,
but they're going to run out of time if they.
You don't want to get to that. If you let Roger Bacon get to that 23-point marker with at 15 or 16, it will be tough. Yeah. Neeson on the serve. Randorf gets a piece of it. Jackson dives for it, and again, they're just not as much in sync as they were early on. 22-15 now. Roger Bacon, this is their largest lead. That student section, I'm getting a huge kick out of them. When I see stuff like that, that's when I miss high school the most. Is when I see some of my favorite memories are from the big games, and that's going to set it up 23-15 now. But like the memories on the floor for these girls, the same memories are being made in the student section.
Without a doubt. I mean, we're having people making new friends up there. They're asking people out on dates. Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of socializing going on up there.
Grem zips that one right in past Cammie Neeson. That was Kelsey Neeson. I'm sure the Neesons don't care if you say the wrong name if it's a good play, but on the mistake, you better get the first name correct. Yes.
Say, listen, you got to get us right.
No, the Neeson sisters have been beyond impressive tonight.
Yeah, quiet 17 kills, but for Kelsey Neeson, 11 for Mariah Gaines.
Neeson's done a lot of the dirty work tonight, too. I mean, just on the floor every time you look up. 23-17 now. Gilmour cuts it back to within 6.
Yeah, Cammie Neeson with 21 digs. And again, we look at Gilmour's side. We've still got quite a gap between the 30 kills from Randorf, and then it falls off to 9-9-3-3. See a little bit of more balance here if they want to get back into this set.
Good kill there by Jackson, by the way. Neeson gets a piece of this one. It's set up. There's Gaines. Gaines had a great opportunity there. You know that's going to be one of those that you think back later like, dang it, I had that right in front of me.
Yeah.
23-18. Good timeout here because you still got a good cushion to work with coming out. But Roger Bacon 2 points away from forcing that 5th and final deciding set. And I can think of no better way to close out a state championship Saturday than with the final match of the day to take 5 to determine a state champion.
No, I agree. This match has been everything we thought it might be. We weren't quite sure that Roger Bacon had what it took, but they have absolutely proven us wrong. And again, right now it looks as if it might go to set 5, but I'm quite sure Gilmour isn't ready to concede that point just yet.
And we'll be able to determine that factor coming right out of this timeout. 23-18, 5-point gap. Roger Bacon 2 points away from forcing that 5th set. And right now, Gilmour will get a point or two coming out of this timeout. It'll have a much different feel. And Randorf.
Back row block by the setter, Sammy Hoffman. She's not allowed to engage with the volleyball when she's in the back row if it's up in the net.
That's Brooke Clare on the serve for the Lancers. This one's set up, and that's Neeson. Good handle right there by Klicka. Graham on the return. Neeson pops this up, getting the running start. Strong strike into the block. And that's going to set up a set point opportunity. 24-19.
The terrible towels. It looks like we've got Pittsburgh Steelers fans in here. They
we're
have
at
come out. Yep,
Heinz Field.
Field.
That serve just clips the top of the net and gains. Took advantage of that opportunity. 25-19 your final in set number 4. Though I didn't realize so many people had the towels. People had just been sitting on them. They were looking for that opportunity to use them, and well, now's as good a time as any. What a fourth set. 25-19 your final. Roger Bacon, after being down 2-0, taking the last 2 sets to force that 5th and final deciding set. We'll have that coming up. Let's crown a state champion, shall we? We'll be back in a moment.
Of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. The OHSAA seeks to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion in all of our athletic programs and is dedicated to working towards making sure they are free from any form of discrimination, harassment, and bullying. We strive to make all of our student athletes feel welcome and safe. Please join me in helping create an environment that emphasizes respect, teamwork, and understanding in order to build a culture that celebrates both the accomplishments and the uniqueness of all of our participants.
I just wanted to play.
I just want to play. I just want to play. I just want to play.
Play.
Play. Along the way, I'm learning
Sportsmanship.
sportsmanship, teamwork,
Teamwork.
how to work hard,
How to work hard. Discipline.
hustle,
Sacrifice.
how to be a leader.
Dedication.
I just want to play. And along the way, I'm learning to put the team before myself.
To put the team before myself. How to be a student.
How to be a student.
I'm learning to set a good example,
How to work hard.
to accept responsibility.
That I represent my community.
That I represent my community. I just wanted to play, and look where it took me.
She's done it! Tiana Bartoletta has done it! From Elyria, Ohio, now an Olympic gold medalist.
Hey, sports fan! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
The first to 15 will be your 2021 Division II OHSAA State Volleyball Champions. Roger Bacon gets the first serve. And we talked about how dominant they've been when it comes to the aces this year, and that's how they set the tone. Michelle, as a coach, how tough is this, the 5th set? Like, what are the nerves like in a 5th set? Especially, I mean, I can't imagine in a state championship game on top of it.
You know, it is, because it feels like you have no time to make mistakes. Now, that's really not true. I mean, you certainly do.
This feels magnified.
But sometimes, like, it looks like, obviously, Gilmour rotated around, so they actually have Randorf in the back row right now. And she's going to rotate up more toward the middle of this set, and it's something that Bishop Hartley did not do in their match against Roger Bacon, and Elo Grandui ended up out of the set for the last 8 or 9 points. It looks like they've made that adjustment. Coughlin rotated his lineup, and now they should have Randorf in the front row.
By the way, Randorf has 31 kills. The record for kills in a 5-set match is 35. So Randorf is 4 away from tying that and 5 away from setting that new record. Randorf sprawling out on the floor to make that play, and you could feel the intensity and the urgency. And Gilmour goes up by 2. Roger Bacon, they had that ace to kick things off.
Yeah.
But now this is the loudest I've heard the Gilmour fans, and the most, the energy spewing from the side of Gilmour right now is the most we've seen since that halfway point in the 3rd set. Getting that running start, hitting into the block right off the hands of Anna Rarick. Good response by Roger Bacon.
Yeah, and again, you know, you like to chunk up. Take a look at that last play. Again, doing a nice job of finding that line. But we like to chunk set 5 into, you know, get first to 3, first to 6, 9, and
the game within the game, basically.
The game within the game. What a dig. And all tied up. So it's like we're starting over. Now it's a game to 12.
Man, you could just, like I said, you could feel it. You could feel the intensity on the floor right now. And that's Neeson on the serve for the Spartans, and one heck of a play by Sabrina Grem.
They literally, on a kill, they slide like they dive. It's just been the most hilarious thing to watch. Again, Grem looked mad after this kill. See if they can build on this very fragile 1-point lead.
That was Rarick on the serve. Gilmour up 4-3. And that was Neeson. Neeson, you talked about that same spot. And she's able to capitalize on it. 4-4, we're all tied up. Here it is on the replay. Good setup by Hoffman. Neeson drops back to serve. This is Kelsey Neeson. And now they're going to go to Grem. Excellent dig by Cammie Neeson. And Gaines with a strong strike. Yep.
A great job by Klicka of not doubling that ball.
Wow. 5-4, Roger Bacon. I love it. I love the switch that they turned on. They just looked defeated in that third set. I mean, it just looked as if their season was coming to an end. And regardless of how this ends, there's no reason to hang your head after this, but that's not what they're thinking about at the moment. Good pancake right there by Neeson. Again, sprawling out again. Jackson going to set it up. Here comes Grem, and Grem drops it right in front of Neeson. Tied at 5. 5-all here in set 5. And what a play here again off the setup by Jackson, and Grem just needles it through. We'll drop it back to serve now, Brooke Clare. Neeson gets underneath that one. Hoffman sets it up. That was Gaines on the return. Klicka going to pop this one high in the air, and that's going to be Grem again. And see, now they're hard to defend because instead of continuously, and there's nothing wrong with going to your star player, but because of that, now that Grem's getting back involved, you have more than one weapon, and now they're a hard team to stop. Gilmour up 6-5.
Yep, couldn't agree with you more. Cogent analysis.
Well, you know, it's the tie. 6-5, Gilmour with the lead. Again, Roger Bacon trying to tie it here, and that zips right in between Klicka and Clare. We're all tied up at 6. So now dropping back to serve is Allie Hughes. 5'10" freshman. How about the freshman in these moments? Another great pancake.
That ball was up, yep, sure was. Oh.
Oh man, Roger Bacon goes up. That was hit out of play from the opposite end of the floor, hitting down the line of the net. Take a look at the replay here. Seven, 6. Good job by Gaines. Jackson sets it up.
By Jackson, but
man. Jackson to Grem's.
Not exactly sure, Coach Coughlin, but if it was her first contact, she can double that contact.
So that's what Randorf is trying to get the explanation for. So Roger Bacon goes up 2. It's 8-6 now. Student section is into it. The parents, you know, the parents, not that they're not into it, but you could tell they're nervous. The towels are put away. They're sitting down. They're a little weary right now.
Butterflies are taking flight. Caterpillars have metamorphosed in their bellies into butterflies.
I see what you did there. Well played. Grem on the serve.
What a great match.
Gaines, soft tap over. It was handled by Flynn. Flynn on the return, a good diving play from the back row, and now coming in hard on that was Kroger. Jackson gonna go to Randorf. Deflected at the front. This time they're gonna go back to Gaines. Gaines.
Yeah, and Gaines right there, kind of overthinking it. You know, tippy tap back and forth. You know, I think at this point, you take a look at this. They do dig the ball, but I want a swing on that. Now they're going to be in system again.
Here comes Randorf. Out of play. They're saying she tipped it, but point is up on the board for Roger Bacon, 9-8. Take a look at the replay here.
Yeah, that she was a little bit, again, you know, we don't have challenges, and therefore we can't get 10 looks at it. We don't need a second look at that one. This one is going to go absolutely down to the wire.
That was kill number 32 for Randorf. As we talked about earlier, she needs 3 more at this point to tie the record, 4 to break it. But I don't even think Randorf cares about that record. She wants to end her career with the state championship. And high in the air.
They'll be in system again.
Jackson to Randorf, excellent dig by Neeson to keep it alive. Hoffman getting a piece of it to set it up, and it's cleared by Hughes. Opposite end, gonna feed Rarick.
And again, it's a good decision what they did, and it wasn't as dynamic of a kill, etc. But Rarick is a junior. She knows exactly how to get good hand-to-ball contact. So Jackson decided to go outside to her instead of what would have definitely been a double or triple block against Randorf in the middle.
And these are lessons, by the way, that this team could take into next year, because there won't be that Randorf that they're going to, you know, always have to look at and say, here's the ball. And by learning how to play with her and without her, too, I think that's going to be key. Obviously, they're more worried about the final 6 points or potentially 5 points of this match. But 10-9, a timeout out on the floor. This is what I love about volleyball more than any other sport. There is no time. You're not, you don't have, oh man, we got 3 minutes to score 6 points here.
No, I mean, and this could, winning by 2, this could be 32-30.
As long as it takes to crown a champion, that is all that matters here tonight at Wright State University's Nutter Center, the home of the OHSAA Volleyball Championships. And that's Lainey Klicka on the serve, and a good run up there by Allie Hughes. And that was Neeson on the return. Chasing that down is Jackson, and now here comes Grimm. Set up in the middle, and Klicka getting underneath that one. Jackson cross court, this time going to go to Rarick. Rarick hits into the block and out of play.
Wisely done. Again, Ella Jackson, a freshman playing way beyond her years, no doubt is getting instruction from her coaches, but to resist that urge to just throw that ball up to Randorf. And right now, kind of danger time for Roger Bacon.
Don't want to go down 3. Yep.
You know, served at aggressively by Gilmour. And now let's see where she goes. She goes to Rarick again. I'm guessing maybe the next in-system ball might come to Randorf.
Maybe here. Great dig there by Neeson. The other Neeson on the return, and that's a great play there by Grimm. Randorf will have another opportunity, and she drives that down that left line to give Gilmour, the Lancers, a 3-point advantage, 12-9. The Lancers thought they were close to clinching a state title about a half hour, 45 minutes ago. And they're fortunate to still have a shot here with as well as Roger Bacon has played. It's not far from over, as we've learned with Roger Bacon. You can't count him out. This time they're going to go back to the opposite end. That's Huber. And that's a big one for Roger Bacon right there. Great play by Huber. Hard hit ball, 12-10. Dropping back to serve is Mackenzie Kroger, the outside hitter, another senior. Jackson with the right-hand dump. That's her first dump of the night.
Ella Jackson is a freshman who just read the moment so well and understood You know, her job is not to score points because of the crew.
I think they have a lot of scores, right?
She just earned some street credibility right there. And I'll tell you, that might end up being the biggest play of the last 2 sets.
And now she goes from a freshman to an experienced sophomore who is 2 points away from being a state champion. Jackson sets it up. Cross court, going to go back to Rarick. Good block. Still playable. Randolph gets underneath it. Graham going to have to clear it. There was Neeson getting a piece of it. Cross court set up. Neeson gets the running start. Graham gets underneath that.
Great deflection.
Jackson to Randolph.
So Jackson got a deflection on that as well, and they're going to get a free ball opportunity. What will they do with it?
Jackson in the middle, setting up Chanel.
Great dig by Neeson.
Jackson again. This time going to go to Randolph, who zips it in. Still playable.
Yep, again, looks like we might get, and we're a little bit out of system, but it's coming back to Randolph.
Wow. (13-12). 13-12. Gilmour over 12. Jackson going to set it up opposite end for Rarick. Deflected and drops. Set point opportunity for Gilmour. Huge opportunity coming up here.
This is just the best that it gets, minus some of the dramatic looks at the officials. It's the best kind of play, but I don't like at all what I'm seeing. I mean, as a coach, that's the one thing we just say, no, turn it into
especially
your
when
team.
it can't change the outcome.
Turn into your team and quit worrying about what's happening with the white shirts. It's just not appropriate.
Well, prime example, you look at Roger Bacon. They could have easily focused on everything else going on around them. They focused on what they can do. I love this, but this atmosphere, I mean, this is cool.
It is, absolutely.
So glad to be back here this year. I mean, we're grateful to even have the chance last year during the pandemic, but this year, this has been special. 14-12, set point opportunity. The freshman, I'm going to call her sophomore now. I'm just going to call her sophomore. Jackson on the serve.
She's had the black stripe removed if you're a Buckeye fan.
And that'll do it. The Gilmour Academy Lancers are your Division II OHSAA State Volleyball Champions in a match that appeared to be a very quick one. At one point, we thought it was going to be a 3-set sweep. The resiliency of Roger Bacon and that special group of girls on that side of the net made this one fantastic game for us to call, for those watching at home and for the fans in attendance. It's unfortunate that there has to be a loser in this game, but what a fantastic championship game. Congratulations to the Gilmour Academy Lancers. A 5-set affair, 15-12 your final. Michelle's taking the headset off. She's going to be heading courtside to catch up with a couple of the star players. But before that, we'll step away for a few minutes before we send it down to the floor for the final championship trophy presentation for the Division II State Volleyball Champions, the Gilmour Academy Lancers. We'll be back in just a moment.
I'm Doug Ute, Executive Director of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. The OHSAA seeks to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion in all of our athletic programs and is dedicated to working towards making sure they are free from any form of discrimination, harassment, and bullying. We strive to make all of our student athletes feel welcome and safe. Please join me in helping create an environment that emphasizes respect, teamwork, and understanding in order to build a culture that celebrates both the accomplishments and uniqueness of all of our participants.
I just wanted to play.
I just want to play. I just want to play. I just want to play. Play. Along the way, I'm learning sportsmanship, teamwork, how to work hard,
Discipline,
hustle,
sacrifice,
how to be a leader.
dedication.
I just want to play, and along the way, I'm learning to put the team before myself.
How to be a student.
I'm learning to set a good example
how to work hard.
To accept responsibility.
That I represent my community.
That I represent my community. I just wanted to play, and look where it took me.
She's done it! Tiana Bartoletta has done it! From Elyria, Ohio, now an Olympic gold medalist.
Hey, sports fan! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
Will they please come
the
forward
Gilmour
to receive
Academy
their
Lancers
individual award,
finished
and
the
please remain standing
2021
on-
season at 25-3. Today's 25th win of the season gives them a state championship, back-to-back state championships at that. We'll now send it down courtside for the trophy presentation. Right now, the OHSAA honoring the state runners-up from Division II, the Roger Bacon Spartans.
Hoffman. Number 5, Skylar Brandt. Number 6, Mia Huber. Number 7, Sammy Hoffman. Number 8, Allie Hughes. Number 9, Mackenzie Kroger. Number 10, Mariah Gaines. Number 11, Leah Mason. Number 12, Mariah Montgomery. Number 13, Hannah Stark. Number 14, Grace Camphouse. And number 15, Katie Gary Perry. Roger Bacon is coached by Nick Wilking, Lexi Hoffman, Maddie Torbeck, and the head coach of the Roger Bacon Spartans, Alyssa Flading. How about those Spartans? Ladies, there is no doubt that everyone in this gym felt the electricity as we witnessed your state semifinal match and again during your outstanding performance today. Much of your success as a volleyball team can be attributed to your leadership, including being this year's Miami Valley Conference champs, regional champs, and now playing in the state final today. You all are leaving behind a legacy that will be carried out for future Spartans to return to this court. From your ability to work so strongly together as a team, to your incredible athletic ability through every set. These are the reasons you are all bringing back another trophy to put in the trophy case at Roger Bacon High School. On behalf of the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Board of Directors, OHSAA Executive Director Doug Ute is proud to present the 2021 Division II State Runner-Up Trophy to the Roger Bacon Spartans. And now, the Ohio High School Athletic Association would like to recognize Gilmour Academy as the 2021 Girls State Volleyball Division II Championship team, ending their season with a record of 25 wins and 3 losses. As we introduce the individual players, will they please come forward to receive their individual state championship medals, and please remain standing on the court facing their fans. Number 4, Rylan Anderson. Number 5, Kayla Chanel. Number 7, Anna Rarick. Number 9, Sabrina Graham. Number 10, Ella Barnhart. Number 14, Catherine Randorf. Number 15, Kelsey Thompson. Number 16, Lucia Martino. Number 21, Mina Diggs. Number 22, Bree Habib. Number 23, McKenna Morrison. Number 26, Maria Flynn. Number 28, Ella Jackson. Number 29, Brooke Claire. And number 33, Lainey Klicka. Gilmour Academy is coached by Kenny Clyde, Cece Black, Danny Stitzman, Phil Margaravicius, Kelsey Pollock, and the head coach of Gilmour Academy, Dan Coughlin. All right, Lancers, we said it last year and we'll say it again. This volleyball team is becoming an absolute powerhouse in the state of Ohio. There's no question that your coaches, families, and peers would say that your commitment to the sport of volleyball are like no other. You put all your teammates before yourself, and that speaks volumes to why you're playing in the state championship match 2 years in a row. These ladies are competing in their 3rd straight trip to the Final Four, but also have made it to the state volleyball tournament for the 11th time in the last 14 years. With over 800 high schools in the state of Ohio, you all are one of the few to have this type of success, which will be remembered for a lifetime. And now the Lancers are bringing a state volleyball trophy back to Gilmour Academy with them today. On behalf of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, Board of Directors member Bo Arnett is honored to present Gilmour Academy with the 2021 Division II State Championship Trophy. Let's hear it for the Lancers. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for your attendance at this state championship event. The student athletes, their schools, the OHSAA, and staff here at the Nutter Center appreciate your support. Please exit the facility at this time and safe travels back to your community. Have a great evening.
We appreciate everyone who is taking advantage of all of the games being brought to you this weekend on the NFHS Network. This is the Division II State Championship game. Again, the wrap-up, the trophy presentation, the Gilmour Academy Lancers take home the trophy out of Division II. We'll send it down courtside coming up here in just a few moments with Michelle Mimna. She'll be able to pull a couple of the star players from the D2 state champions of Gilmour Academy coming up here in just a few moments. But just a quick recap of everything we've seen here this weekend. And again, this match, a 5-set match to close things out. I can think of no better way to close out this fun weekend of state action. But to go down the list of the state championship winners, the magnificent Blue Streaks out of Division I finished the season 23-6 as state champions. Here in Division II, of course, Gilmour Academy 25-3. Division III, Liberty Benton 30-0. They become the 38th team in OHSAA state volleyball history to be undefeated and win a state championship. How cool is that? And then in Division 4, New Knoxville knocked off St. Henry. New Knoxville, such an amazing story to see how they ended the season with everything they had to overcome this year. Unbelievable story there. New Knoxville, 28-2. They are your state champions out of Division 4. Again, your Division 2, your final here tonight, a 5-set state championship win for Gilmour Academy over Roger Bacon. Right now they are wrapping up the trophy presentation, taking their team pictures. I mean, you guys heard, for those who've been tuning in all night, hanging out with the loud fans behind us. I mean, the passion, it was unbelievable. And now, as Michelle Mimna wraps up, is starting to gather some of the star players right now over off to the side. What an amazing win here tonight. And very impressive. It looks as if Michelle Mimna going to be able to pull over Sabrina Graham. And then, of course, number 33, Laney Klicka. And as soon as she is set and comfortable, we will send it to her. But I do want to give a final shout-out to Roger Bacon, the Spartans. The Spartans could have folded after being down 2-0. They were down big in that third set. It was 17-12. 17-12 is when they went on that 10-0 run. Roger Bacon gave it everything they had tonight. Shout-out to that program. They should not be hanging their heads here tonight. So, your state champions out of Division 2, the Gilmour Academy Lancers. We now send you courtside with Michelle Mimna.
But what's your reaction to being state champs 2 years ago?
Holy crap.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and kind of attend to some technical difficulties. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll come back with our player interviews and our coach spotlight following the Division II state championship match. We'll be back.
Leader in online education for the interscholastic community. At nfhslearn.com, you can find over 70 courses, including more than 30 free courses, such as concussion in sports, heat illness prevention, sudden cardiac arrest, and protecting students from abuse. To learn more, visit the NFHS Learning Center.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Ohio, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So, where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
All right, we now send you courtside with Michelle Mimna, who's catching up with some of the stars from, of course, Gilmour Academy and their head coach. Here's your D2 state champion Gilmour Academy Lancers. Down to Michelle.
All right, Coach, back-to-back state championships. It was a little bit dramatic, but tell me what it means to do this 2 years in a row.
I think it puts us in a special place with a lot of really good programs, in the state. Like I said a few moments ago, not many teams do this. for as long as you and I have been around, we might be able to name, a few, but not a great deal. So I think it puts us in an elite level,
And I'll ask the girls this. So after set 2, we kind of felt like this was going to be a little bit easier of a night. What happened in set 3? You guys were up and then end up losing 26-28. So I'll let each of you guys respond to set 3.
I think that we just get caught up in the excitement of winning a state championship that we forget that this team is not going to go away. And they want to win just as much as we do, and we got to make sure that they don't.
I'd say we were just kind of putting balls away those first 2 sets, and they caught up to us and they learned what we were doing, and we had to find a way to score through that. And obviously we fought through it and we came out with the win. So.
And Catherine, you looked a little frustrated in sets 3, 4, and 5. Didn't seem to affect your level of play, but what was your main frustration?
I think they kind of caught on to them just shoving up the ball to me and us trying to just score right away, and I think it was a difficult time, but I think it was really good for me to trust all of our teammates and just count on, because when I wasn't there, everyone else was right behind me having my back.
So I talked to Coach before we walked over here about Ella Jackson and the dump that she had in set 5, literally at point 13, and we said on the broadcast that she became a sophomore on that play because she had not done that, and she doesn't really need to do that. So talk to me about the freshmen on your team. What is it? We'll start with Coach, and then we'll go around the horn.
You know what? I made a comment, to the coaches and said, does, every time we watch these play, do they seem to impress you more and more and more? And it might be something as far as just a broken play, them stepping in and playing a ball. Freshmen don't do that, but all of a sudden they'll do it. Kayla yesterday had her first real snap block, and we saw it and went nuts, And then Ella today with, what she did, I think when she dumped that, I told you, instant energy, and these 5 girls went absolutely crazy at that point of the game, and you could just kind of feel the energy just right to our side, and we just had to go side-out game from there on in, and that's what we did.
Well, and I keep hearing Chanel referred to as Coco Chanel in the stands, et cetera, and so on, but what about her impact on this game and this weekend?
She's absolutely impressed me. Every single game she steps out on the court and she just brings a different level and a different kind of intensity that we have never seen on this team, but we appreciate her so much, and she's made so much of an impact every single point.
Yeah. And being a middle with her, I think just her being able to experience things that I've gone through, and being on my team when I was a freshman, and just helping her through the process is really important, because she's just going to be a great player when she grows up. I mean, her growth from the beginning of the year is insane. All of our freshmen are freaks on the court. You would not know they're freshmen, honestly.
I think about my freshmen and I'm like, no, not the same. Definitely a special group of players, Coach. So in terms of your celebration, will you talk to them about anything you saw that didn't make you happy, or will that wait?
That's going to wait, and I think the importance right now is we found a way to win. Yeah. Yes, you go up 2-0, then you lose the next 2, and we were flat, we were coasting. I walked in and they all kind of had that look of defeat, and it's like, we're up 2-1. Yeah. It's 2-2. We can win a game to 15. We're battle tested. Last year we had to come back, so we had enough veterans on the court that we could sustain that, and we know they were young. I don't know their schedule and how battle tested they were, but we played some of the best, so it's just a matter of them calming down, getting their composure back. And I think, in fifth sets, once you get that 8-9 point range and you're +2, you feel a little bit better, because that's that uncomfortable spot. And then Ella had that dump late in the game, and that just kind of sealed it.
And I want to end it kind of talking about an unsung hero, the liberos of the game. They never get the love that they deserve. But in the home stretch of that 5th set, you really dug everything that came your way. So what is it like to be a libero on a team with offensive talent that you have?
It makes me so unbelievably comfortable. I know I can trust their block. I know I can, everything that I need to trust them on, they've got it. I feel so secure with this team, and I know that they trust me just as much as I trust them.
Well, ladies and Coach, congratulations. 2 in a row. It won't happen again for probably a very long time, so you're in a very special place. All right, congratulations. You guys get to go celebrate with that big piece of hardware. All right, back to you, Justin.
Michelle, thank you. And one more time, congratulations to the Gilmour Academy Lancers. Back-to-back state champions, and they are your Division II OHSAA State Volleyball Champions. It's been a long and fun and awesome weekend to be back here at Wright State University's Nutter Center, the longtime home of the OHSAA State Volleyball Championships. One more time, congratulations, Gilmour Academy Lancers, your winners over Roger Bacon in the D2 State Championship game. That wraps it up for us here this weekend for the OHSAA State Volleyball Champions. For all of our producers in the back who helped with all the graphics and the cameramen and everyone behind the scenes, for Dean and of course for Michelle over here. We got to make sure we give her a shout out to Jackie and everybody. It was an awesome weekend. We were glad to be with you, and that wraps it up for us this year. Until next year, this has been the OHSAA State Volleyball Championships on the NFHS Network.